opening.
All right, we're off to a decent start. But now we gotta crew up, build our elite squad so I can get my son back.
And that's exactly what we'll do. It's draft day.
Did it work?
And then some. You won't be needing those heels anymore.
Peggy? Wow.
I'd call this an absolute success.
Hey, Aaron.
Chocolate mousse.
I can't talk too long. I gotta poo.
This Organized Chaos podcast is brought to you by JEMS Art Studio. JEMS Art Studio is an online store that allows access to prints that you can use for most anything, obviously as just a picture, or as a wallpaper, or as a bookmark, or anything you can think of. You can find JEMS Art Studio at etsy.com/shop/JEMS Art Studio. This podcast is also brought to you by listeners like you. Thank you.
So
You're not wrong. I just looked outside and I just see rain on the window. So hey, nice. We're setting the mood.
Yes.
So how do you feel about going live? I think it's going great.
Yeah. You trips and stumbles and falls, but we're here.
It's a learning experience for us all.
It really is.
Well, today we got a few things to talk about. We got I saw Space Jam, and I can't physically take it from my mind, so I have to vent about it. So that's gonna be part of this podcast. It's in there, so now I have to share. I'm sorry, but it's a thing.
I missed out on it. I was busy watching The Fanatic, which we will be getting into as well today.
I saw that one too. And I want to add that you didn't miss out on anything with Space Jam.
So by the trailer.
And we had the first episode of What If. Interesting ideas on that one. But yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So do we dive right into Space Jam?
Oh, you can, and I'll just, chime in.
God damn, fuck this. Oh my god. This movie just needs to burn in the fiery dump heaps of history. As you can tell, I didn't like it. It wasn't good. I have negative feelings towards this terrible, terrible movie. I don't have particularly fond memories of the first one. I remember enjoying it when I first saw it. I was probably 15, so obviously, I was of the age where I think I'm old, but I'm actually still a kid. I remember thinking it was fine at the time.
Well, I also remember going to see the first one when it came out, too, mostly just because Michael Jordan and Bugs Bunny.
Yeah, that was a big selling point. And okay, fine.
Yeah, and that's a great selling point, and I could see where they tried to go this route with it, but I don't know, in my opinion, too, and I'm not much of a basketball fan, but it does kind of break down to why Jordan will always be better.
Oh, God, yeah. Well, if we're gonna break it down to that aspect, I'm not a huge basketball fan, but no, I'm not even gonna go there because I'm not a big enough basketball fan to even compete. But
I can tell you, do you know about it? Is that the game that was played when Jordan was in is different than the game that is played today.
Yeah, and Jordan,
a lot of the big guys of today wouldn't be able to hang with the guys from then, because they were a bit more aggressive and they let a little bit more fly. Now somebody gets carried off the court when they have a calf cramp.
Well, that's the thing, though. Back in the day, as not being a basketball fan, Jordan was, insanely popular. I was bombarded with Jordan. As someone who didn't watch basketball, I could tell you exactly who Michael Jordan was, what he looks like, what his voice is. I could tell you all types of things about Michael Jordan, and outside of random clips, I've never sat down and watched a Michael Jordan basketball game.
No, I mean I've seen clips, never a full game.
Yeah, but he's omnipresent. The sport, almost impossible to bring up the sport and not Michael Jordan. So,
yeah.
Anyways, they did the Space Jam movie, and I'm gonna go over a brief synopsis based on what I can remember. 20-year-old memory. I'm going to get stuff wrong. But if memory serves, like, aliens invade the Looney Tunes, and they're little itty-bitty short aliens. So the Looney Tunes say, you can't take us over until you give us a chance to play a game. And the aliens are like, you know, they trick the aliens in some weird way to get them to agree to this. I don't remember what. Actually, wasn't there, like, something taped into a book?
Yeah, Bugs wrote on a page that was taped into a book, and he handed it to them with said, like, marker in hand.
All right.
In true Bugs fashion.
That sounds like a Looney Tunes way to do it. So anyways, the little short aliens get challenged to a basketball game by Looney Tunes. Makes sense. Until the aliens absorb the essence of the best current basketball players. And then they just become these beasts on the court.
Yeah.
So the Looney Tunes recruit Michael Jordan, because I actually did think this was clever. They wove real life into it a bit, because this is during the time period where Michael Jordan actually went into his baseball phase. So the aliens didn't go after him. If I remember correctly, that's exactly what was going on. So they were able to get...
Yeah, they didn't know.
Arguably...
He didn't play basketball.
Yeah, they were able to get arguably, maybe even inarguably, the best basketball player ever on their team, because he wasn't playing basketball at that moment.
Yeah.
And yeah, the game is just set up around that. Michael Jordan's not a great actor. You know, he does his thing. He's not an actor at all, but it's fine. Jordan. I remember at the time enjoying it. I don't remember it particularly well. Like, it does the mixture of animation and live action. The gold standard of that is always going to be Who Framed Roger Rabbit. But I don't recall this being particularly bad. Oh my god, no technical errors at all. As an audience member, yeah, my battery just died. So, this is a learning experience for me. I want to thank Bobby Coors for being patient. Pure skill here. I'm testing everybody. Anyways, we're talking about the new Space Jam.
Yes, you had just left off with the synopsis of the first one.
Okay, and did I get anywhere in the second one yet? I don't think so.
You started to talk about the plot of it, and that is where your battery died.
Yay! Okay, so let's it starts off, and we see LeBron James as a kid. He is, he's playing. Oh my God, he's on the basketball court in Akron, I believe, because he's from Ohio. Yay, Ohio represent! But fuck this movie. Anyways, he's a kid. He's playing Akron. A kid hands him a Playboy, and what does he do? He turns on the Playboy, and you can kind of see it here. He starts playing a Bugs Bunny game, and he's told he's not allowed to play it. He needs to focus on basketball. But he has such fond memories of playing those Bugs Bunny games. I can tell you want to say something, because I do too.
Did they refer to it in film as a Playboy?
Did I say Playboy?
You did.
It's a Game Boy.
Okay.
That's me.
Okay.
Freudian slip. Okay.
Because I was going to say, okay. First problem.
No, this episode's going perfectly. Listen.
And good for keeping, the magazine industry, still flourishing.
Listen, a key point of this is that child LeBron James is addicted to Playboys with Bugs Bunny in them, okay?
All right. I mean, hey, DC's doing daring new things. Why not the Looney Tunes?
This movie just got so much better, okay?
I'd pay for the IMAX experience for that.
Oh. Anyways, he's playing Bugs Bunny on Game Boy. My original point was simply the Bugs Bunny games are fucking awful. And this game's hinged on the idea that he has fond memories of playing these fucking Bugs Bunny games on Game Boy, on Playboy. Why not?
Those are some impressive graphics for that Game Boy. I don't remember them being that good or
that's
pixelated
good, and it's in color. And that's clearly an old school Game Boy he's holding.
But I thought the color was like the S one.
Yeah, the color one.
Or no, Game Boy Color, yeah.
Yeah, I think there might have been one that kind of was shaped like that, but was a lot thinner. And of course, were those might have just been Game Boys that just looked sleeker before Game Boy Color came out. Yeah, I think you're right. I think the Game Boy Color was actually a two-hander. Well, yeah, but yeah, it was longer than it was taller.
Like more like a console controller.
Yes, I believe you're right. Anyways, LeBron.
We're also showing our age by talking about the Game Boys.
Oh my god! And this thing already got completely diverted because now LeBron. We're talking about young LeBron James addicted to his Playboys.
Yeah.
As a young man.
He sounds like a typical kid from Akron.
It would be more believable than him being super addicted to these Bugs Bunny games. But he's told he can't. He is told he can't play those games. He needs to focus on basketball. Those games are meaningless. And I think he was saved because those games are awful. I mean, at least play Super Mario Land. What are you doing? Metroid 2 was great. Legend of Zelda: Link to a Past. Great game. Bugs Bunny, what are you doing with your life?
You already said it was going to be a great game by saying The Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
It's enough said right there.
Anyways.
They're all great.
He grows up, and, obviously he becomes LeBron James, and we catch up with his family. Do we catch up with his family, or do we get Don Cheadle first? Anyways, we're going to go with the family first, and we'll get to Don Cheadle.
The War Machine?
Yeah. Don Cheadle is in this, and he does a great job because he's Don Cheadle. He's a great actor.
Well, yeah.
But this movie doesn't deserve him at all.
Okay.
Anyways, so his son is actually a game programmer, and he's making this new basketball video game, but obviously LeBron's like, no, you can't do that, son. You need to focus on other things. You shouldn't focus on, I think he makes a big deal about how the kids need to play basketball seriously or something like that. And he has his own private court because he's LeBron James. Probably one of the most believable things in the movie. Anyways, by the way, he has his whole family in this, and they're all played by actors. I'm not sure how they feel about that. He gets to play himself, but his whole family's just actors now.
I'm almost sure Michaels were actors too.
Do we really see his family though?
Yeah, when Bugs and Daffy go to his house to go get his North Carolina shorts.
Yes. That does seem familiar. But that's like a brief role. Like
Yeah, the kids like fight the dog for it, and they go, "Here you are, Bugs," and they just hand it to him, no questions asked. But
a thing here is that his wife is a pretty big part of the movie, and his son is a huge part of this movie. Like, massive. Anyways, then we meet up with Don Cheadle, and he is the master of the serververse. And every time he says that, I'm thinking Snyderverse, because that's all I see anymore.
The serververse?
Yes, the serververse. Okay. He is the algorithm that created all Warner Brothers properties. And he thinks LeBron James, he's like King James. He's looking him up. He's like, he has so many social media followers. I need to figure out how to take over this guy's space in social media. Okay, whatever. I'm sure I got a pick of them, but okay, there's so many problems. Number one, he's played by Don Cheadle, an actor who is way overqualified for this fucking movie.
That's amazing, though.
Yeah, and oh my god, it's tough to even put into words. He's going after LeBron James's social media apparently because he's King James. I forgot where I was going with that. I'm sure I'll get to it though. Anyways, so he comes up to try to loop LeBron James in. He comes up with this app for LeBron James. Oh yes, I want to talk about his name. He's an algorithm. So you'd think he just goes by Al, right? Because that makes sense, So just call him Al.
Yeah.
There's even a song. You can call me Al.
Featuring Chevy Chase.
No.
I think he sung that.
Yeah, it's performed by Chevy Chase, and I don't remember if there's another guy involved with that or not.
I think it's like I think his name is Garfunkel or something.
Yeah, Garfunkel. Yeah. Anyways, he goes by the name Al G Rhythm, and they say that name a lot, and it is no better every time they say it. It's like the stupidest name they could have come up with for it. It's like, just call him Al, and he's an algorithm.
Do they say the full thing? Like
Yes.
A Tribe Called Quest?
Yeah, they say it, the full thing, like, almost all the time. I don't even recall if they ever actually just call him Al. I think they call him Al G Rhythm, like, almost the entire movie. It is
Al G.
so fucking stupid. Anyways, he sets up this, I have actually the video for it, but he sets up this, program for LeBron James. So they call LeBron James into Warner Brothers Studios, say, hey, we have this new project for you. And it's essentially just LeBron James put into a whole bunch of Warner Brothers properties. Like, they put him into Game of Thrones, they put him into Harry Potter. I think it's a superhero thing, probably Batman. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure it was Batman. But they just put LeBron James computer animated into a whole bunch of fucking Warner Brothers properties.
Is there an actual clip of him in Game of Thrones, and which scene?
Well, it's not actually. That's the thing. It's all computer animated. So, like,
Okay.
it's. I think I want to say you see him riding a dragon. I want to say for a few seconds. Yeah, no, it's not like this movie incorporates. We'll even get to like probably the worst bit of it, but incorporates a whole bunch of stuff kind of intended for adults into this kids movie, which is totally crazy.
Well, Warner Brothers cartoons and Looney Tunes have always kind of done that line
Yeah.
a little bit more riskier than, well, I wouldn't say it riskier, but about as risky as Disney.
Well, that's the thing. This isn't even risky. It's just, we'll get to it, but it's just name dropping. It's literally just, this is a thing that exists. And then we get to LeBron James's reaction when he read this script. Oh,
Are you food?
No. We're getting to that later. No. I think you recognize it.
Instantly.
Yes. Here we go.
This idea is just straight up bad. That algorithm
It covered
is
up.
busted.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God. Technical problems. Here we go.
It's covered by that Cheetle suit.
Yes. This is...
Busted?
It's among the worst ideas I've ever heard. Top 5,
Man.
easy.
So, that was LeBron James. After he read the
This idea
script...
is just straight up bad. That algorithm is busted.
Busted?
It's among the worst ideas I've ever heard. Top 5, easily.
Anyways, that was him reading the Space Jam script. No, that was him with this algorithm idea.
Oh.
It's, yeah.
Oh.
Anyways,
Yeah, that was rough.
so there's like 20 minutes of, what? Algorithm kidnaps LeBron James and his son. And he takes LeBron James's son, and he's like, hey, you're great. We should play your game. And then he challenges LeBron James to a game of basketball, which his son's game is kind of based on. It's like a weird basketball variant. It's not exactly clear to me how it's different from basketball, but it is, and we'll get to that later. Oh boy.
Okay.
Anyways, so they're kidnapped in the serververse. And it's not clear to the son, but Don Cheadle says, hey, you need to play me this game of basketball, otherwise I'm going to take your son forever, and I'm going to delete the entire Warner Brothers archive.
Whoa.
So he's got, well, it's not actually basketball, it's a son game, but he's going to play this basketball, in quotes. And then his son, as part of the game, has incorporated this thing where you can copy moves from players. So the algorithm uses this to copy the moves of all the best basketball players and make his own basketball players. We're cutting a little bit ahead, because for like 20 minutes after this happens, LeBron James has to recruit his team from the Warner Brothers archives. Notice I haven't gone to Bugs Bunny yet, right? No.
No, you got me actually thinking now if Mo, Larry, Curly, and Shemp and Joe were Warner Brothers property or not.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, but they dodged this one. If they were, they'd probably force them in here because they force so much shit in here. But so like while he's recruiting, he's animated, and I think the first person he comes across is Bugs Bunny, something like that. He just comes across Bugs Bunny, and he's animated, so they don't have to do the thing where they're mixing live action with animation, which is super fucking lazy.
Yeah, it is.
So for like 20 minutes, he's animated. He's gonna put together his best team from Warner Brothers properties. So he's he's got a chalkboard. He's writing down his picks for the team, and it's like logical actually, because he's like, okay, Warner Brothers. So my team's gonna have Superman, Batman, fucking King Kong, Wonder Woman. It's like, yeah, that's who you go for.
Yeah.
So he goes to recruit these people, and he finds Batman, I want to say, except it's actually Daffy Duck. And then after he meets up with him, then the actual Justice League shows up. It's the animated universe Justice League. They pop up. And instead of saying, hey, I'm looking for you guys, they run away. So, anyways, he has all these great ideas. He meets the people he actually needs to recruit, but instead he just ends up with the Looney Tunes. It just happens. And they're all scattered throughout. Like Granny is in the Matrix because I think Matrix parodies, that's a common thing now, right? Like everybody does Matrix parodies now. That's not like 20 years ago, right?
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, no. Oh. This movie brings back the Matrix parodies because we weren't burnt out on them. We're good now. We're good.
I mean, there's been the resurgence with, the red pill, blue pill, whole. Yeah.
That seems legit. So he just recruits his team. Oh my God. So it's all the Warner Brothers characters, obviously. The internet blew up over Lola Bunny. Oh my God, she's not hypersexualized.
Well, I mean, that's kind of good because that's...
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, the fact that they got so upset about tells me, yeah, that was the right move. What are you guys doing to Lola Bunny?
Like, why?
What the fuck?
Does a cartoon female rabbit need to be sexualized?
Yeah.
Like, why?
But, yes. So, anyways, they get to the actual game, and it's like his son's game. So it's like basketball, but it's not. It's him and the Looney Tunes versus these abominations made by Algae Rhythm. And, like, I believe LeBron might get, like, a couple scores off immediately with his team. But then all of a sudden, like, the other team gets a score. And then it's worth, like, 200 points because of style points. Which is, just the writer's easy way to just fuck with the scoreboard however they want. Meaning points mean nothing in this game.
Yeah.
By the way, we're like an hour and 10 minutes into it.
Oh, wow.
This is,
wow.
I believe, like the original.
10?
The original was like
hour and 10 to play basketball?
Yeah. I believe the original movie was 90 minutes. This one, I believe, is about 10 hours long.
It's the Snyder cut.
Yeah. Fuck.
All right.
I wish it went that quickly.
Jesus.
This is a rough one. Anyways, so anybody who's looking at their phone, Algae Rhythm's able to kidnap them and put them into this universe so they can be the fans on the Toons side. And then for the fans on his side, he just brings a whole bunch of people from the Warner serververse. Which is interesting.
So pretty much the community.
Yeah. So, like, we have regular people rooting for LeBron James and the Toons, and then all these Warner Brothers characters rooting for Algae Rhythm. But part of the threat is that he's going to delete all these characters. So, won't everybody be rooting for LeBron James in this? I'm really confused.
Yeah.
Anyways, the best player on Don Cheadle's team is the son, who pretty much hacks himself to be a super player because he made the game and kind of whatever. This is one of those situations where, like, if LeBron could just sit down with his son for like 2 seconds, he would switch sides, which I believe does happen fairly late in the movie. I believe about 5 hours into the game, this actually happens. Oh yes, but we need to talk about who's on the sidelines of the serververse. We get, I think we see a little bit in the Don Cheadle pick. Let me bring that up. Okay, so we can see. I believe maybe that's, I don't know who the blonde-haired pigtail is. But, like, right behind Don Cheadle...
say probably, like, a fairy tale character, maybe probably. Cinderella and Alice in Wonderland is what I thought.
But right behind him in the robe, you can kind of see generic Mr. Freeze from Batman Robin. Also Beighley. Over his shoulder, we have generic Mask. Next to him, we have generic Penguin from Batman in the 60s.
Burgess Meredith
yes,
Penguin.
Yes, absolutely.
And right next to him is Tim Curry from Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Is that supposed to be Tim Curry?
I don't know.
That just looks like generic. I can't tell.
Maybe Liza Minnelli.
Maybe. Oh, yeah. When they're going throughout, like, all this stuff, like, I brought up The Matrix, they also go to fucking Casablanca. Because that's something kids really know and love nowadays.
What?
Yeah. They go to Nick's bar.
If anything, they probably know the "Here's Looking at You, Kid" line from cartoons.
Oh, they're not even referencing that. They're not. But I want to get to the most interesting characters they decide to drop in here. Because, yeah. So we have all these generic... I mean, there are cosplayers that look better than these generic versions they put in here. But let's get to the really interesting ones I saw. I was like, what the fuck are they doing there? Ready?
You know, just this still, real quick. Oh, I love it.
What were you about to say before I dropped that?
I was just gonna say, you know, they honestly, from that last shot, they did look like cardboard standees.
Yeah. Well, in the movie, they have actual people, but they look bad. Yeah. Now,
none of his droops were blonde.
For the people who are listening, in a children's movie, just compute that one. Because what the fuck are they doing?
Is that middle one supposed to be Alex?
Fuck, sure, why not?
Oh.
This is... I don't begin to understand why. I know...
What?
Yeah, well, I always felt like Space Jam, the original, needs some more rape gangs in it, so we're gonna go ahead and drop it in this one.
A little bit of the ultra violence. They needed to go to the Corova milk bar afterwards.
Yes, well, you know, I believe Stanley Kubrick should do a Space Jam movie. The fact that he didn't is the biggest regret of in filmmaking history.
Yeah, even more than Eyes Wide Shut.
Yeah. He should have done Eyes Wide Shut. Just do Space Jam.
Yeah. I think they came out the same year.
Oh my, they might have been close. Shit.
What the fuck is that?
Yeah, that is the craziest thing in this movie. Honestly, all I have to say is, at this point, they obviously win. They get the style points. They win the game. What? Oh, we do need to get to something before I wrap this up, because it's a big part. Oh my god. So, early in the movie, it's established there's a game glitch. Where if you do a certain move, the player will get deleted. Like, you'll make the shot, but the player will get deleted. LeBron James says, I will do this move because I'm a real person and it shouldn't affect me. And they're like, but you don't know that. And he's like, well, we got to risk it because we got to win. This is like they're down 2 points because they figure out the style point thing. Because they're Looney Tunes, they can do the style. Anyways, so before LeBron James can actually do this shot, Bugs Bunny does it. And Bugs Bunny gets deleted. And he gets a big, dramatic death scene. They go all in on this. I am 100% serious. Bugs Bunny dies in this movie. And you're shaking your head.
Yeah.
No, it goes all in on it. It's like super serious. It's super sad. Like, I think LeBron James is like cradling him as he dies, and then he like fades off into like gold glitter or some shit. Super dramatic death for Bugs Bunny. Then we cut to the epilogue of the movie. LeBron James is dropping off his son to a game programming camp or something like that. And then suddenly Bugs Bunny is just there in the real world. He's like, you can't delete
Frozen.
me. Frozen?
Oh, there we are. We're good.
Okay. But anyways, Bugs Bunny pops up in the real world. He says, hey, I'm in the real world. You can't delete me. And then LeBron and Bugs Bunny walk off to a distance. Fuck this movie so fucking hard.
Oh.
I mean, the very fact that it went to a death scene, and we knew it wasn't going to be an actual death, but they went all fucking in on this thing. And then it's just nothing, which we assumed it would be as an audience, but come fucking on. If you're going to milk it, do something with it. Holy shit.
Commit to it, man.
There is no point to it. Just like the movie. That death scene is this fucking movie in a nutshell. There is no fucking point to it. We're just milking something, okay?
Why not have Buster show up?
Yeah, this movie just needs to die. I hate it.
Oh, God, I'm happy I passed on that one.
Fucking hell.
Oh.
I assure you, me covering it went a lot faster than watching it. Are you ready for What If?
Yeah, I am.
I am ready for a palate cleanser. So, let's go ahead and talk about the Rape Gang and What If.
So, Marvel's new series, What If? It proposes, it's pretty much, I guess, like the best way that I wrote down is like this show, the whole plot, or I guess synopsis of this is the stuff that lunchroom conversations in high school and middle school were made of. The hypothetical scenarios, all the proposing your favorite hero against your buddy's favorite hero. Like, this is literally what a lot of lunchroom conversations are built off of. That is just my opinion on. Now, this the first episode takes place in the time frame of Captain America, the first Avenger. Now, it starts off with this really great voiceover from the Watcher. That really, the way that dialogue was formed, and saying that there's countless stories, countless possibilities, all can be changed just off of a simple decision. But the way that it was framed and, like, I guess, worded or scripted, I felt it was written for Stan Lee.
I think there's a very strong chance it was.
Yeah, probably. But, it starts off with showing the scene where Steve is about ready to get into the chamber and get the superhero agent chemical. And they say, and the general who was replaced by Bradley, or who was played by Bradley Whitford in this, but originally played by Tommy Lee Jones in the show, or in the movie.
There's a couple of those.
There are a couple, but Bradley Whitford, he's the only one that I recognized right away. Like, I heard the voice and I was like, hey, I know that guy.
Well, it's mostly the same cast, but I guess I didn't look him up. The other one is obviously Chris Evans didn't come back.
Yeah. But and they got a really good sound alike.
Yeah. But, yes, anyways, there was the explosion.
Yeah, the scene of the explosion where the Hydra agent, and Hail Hydra, he set the bomb off in the test room. But instead of this time, everything goes differently because Peggy was in the room at the time. She tries to prevent it. She ends up killing the assassin there, but he still does kill the doctor and shoots Steve. They still need somebody to get in there. Peggy climbs in and then just becomes Captain Carter, which is just pretty much, she has all of Captain America's powers, but she's still Peggy Carter.
Mm-hmm.
I liked this turn on it. I thought it was very interesting, and again, like I said, it's just the stuff that lunchroom conversations are made of.
Absolutely. I'm going to have kind of a hot take. I was not thrilled with this.
Okay.
I felt like they take an interesting idea of let's take Peggy Carter and essentially make her Captain America, and they don't do a whole lot with it.
Yeah, they kind of just pretty much placed her in the storyline of the first Avenger and just swapped characters out where accordingly.
Yeah.
Like the place of Bucky being Steve, I fucking saw that coming.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. Well, that was the interesting thing. They actually make almost Steve like the first Iron Man in this.
And the proto Iron Man suit was kind of fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Powered by the Tesla. That was kind of fucking awesome.
At the same time, I was also like, why doesn't he do that in the regular timeline? I'm a little confused. What? Is Steve desperate to help him?
Yeah, why didn't Howard just build that?
Yeah, yeah. That's a question. But I would say there's nothing particularly wrong with this episode. But I'm actually a little bit concerned. We'll see what that happens. Because the possibilities of this series, it can go all over the place. It can go crazy. And I actually do think it's interesting to place this series now, because it almost feels like a stealth Loki spinoff. Because that was all about, now there's multiverses. Here's some multiverses. And I like that.
Yeah, and I really feel that this is just more world building towards the multiverse.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
And I mean, they're doing a lot of the legwork here. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that they did in this that I thought was a really great take, very interesting take on it. Mm-hmm. But I mean, poor Steve. At the end of it, poor Steve Rogers.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's a lot like Captain America: The First Avenger, and essentially, it swaps out Peggy with Steve. And that's kind of what it does. There's not a whole lot in there. I actually thought they would even go so far as to have Steve be like experimented on by Zola. I guess we don't know if that actually happens. But yeah,
because she did rescue him rather quickly.
Yes.
Or if like Zola put some sort of programming into the suit.
Possibly, but yeah, it's not explored. That's
not explored.
That's the thing. This is kind of set up as its own reality, and then it ends. I don't know if we get any follow up on that. I would be surprised. Usually, what if you don't?
Yeah.
But it doesn't really do anything with it. You get a lot of the returning cast. Even at the end, we got Samuel Jackson and Jeremy Renner for very, very bit roles in this.
Well, I mean, I'm sure Disney had Jeremy Renner on site that they could just throw him in a booth and say, "Hey, read that."
Mm-hmm. Well, that's why they do this animated, so they can do a lot of that.
Yeah, and that's just a lot easier way to progress story and get it further along.
I think and I don't want this series to just be, hey, let's switch around places, like switch around one character.
Yeah.
I don't think that's very interesting, especially if you're not going to tell a drastically different story. Like, essentially, this is just the first Avenger with Peggy Carter. And they do some interesting things, like there's a huge tentacle monster in this that they couldn't do in the movie, because holy shit.
Yeah, but I mean, that would have also made the first Avenger a fucking great movie, too.
Well, yeah.
But also, I could also still see Steve diving in there, firing a pistol as he's jumping in.
Oh yeah, in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
But I guess for me, it's nothing wrong with this. It's a remake of the first Avenger with Peggy Carter in the lead, and that doesn't thrill me. But I do want to see where they go with this. It might just be they're taking baby steps because they don't want to throw people into the deep end very quickly. But I'm not going to lie, I kind of want to go into the deep end quickly.
Yeah, I do too. I'm ready for it.
But yes, I guess those are just pretty much my thoughts on it. What thoughts? Do you have any final thoughts?
I'm excited to see. I really agree with what you said, with how they kind of touch the surface on it, but they really don't get into the meat and potatoes of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel that could hurt the series in the long run. But if they kind of lean on that formula of swapping characters for others, I could see it also getting really tired quickly.
Yes, I don't want to see T'Challa as Star-Lord and then just have it end with he and the Guardians saving the galaxy.
Yeah,
I saw that.
I've seen that,
and I don't think I'm really thrilled with the idea of a Star-Lord being T'Challa too. So I don't know if I'm interested in seeing the reverse.
Yeah, I mean, and like, so much of like T'Challa's character of who T'Challa is what makes Panther so great.
Mm-hmm.
And Peter Quill is great in his own right, but they're different characters altogether. Like, they have different motivations, they have different things that drive them.
That's an interesting thing. I guess we'll see when we watch. I assume you haven't seen it yet.
No, I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, we'll see. I wonder if they do anything for the soundtrack. I imagine probably not, but
I mean, they have that Mousewitch money. They probably could.
Yeah, they could. Oh, they could for sure.
Appreciating great trash comes from the mind of the man who did it all for the Nookie, Fred Durst. Yes, Fred Durst's 2019 written and directed film, The Fanatic. The story tells the tale of a celebrity-obsessed man living in Los Angeles, Hollywood to be exact. The man, Moose, John Travolta, he is obsessed with autographs and movies and all things Hollywood. He's just kind of a really, I don't know, Travolta took an interesting take in it and how he portrayed the character, but he's obsessed with one actor in particular, an actor by the name of Hunter Dunbar, played by Devon Sawa. He's at a meet and greet where Hunter's there, and he's in line to get a signing from him, and he kind of feels slighted because he didn't pick up on some social cues from Hunter. My friend, Leah, I couldn't find a picture of her, so we don't have one ready.
Okay. I was about to say, wait, is there one of that?
Yeah, no, they had stills of everybody but her. I thought it was weird.
That is weird. She's a big part. Yeah.
She is, yeah. That's kind of criminal. Moose goes to work as a street performing entertainer in a policeman's bobby outfit. That's kind of what he does to earn money. So he's out there kind of doing a policeman shuffle, fake talking in a bad accent. He sees some other peddlers on there. They are doing a fake magic show. And well, one's doing that. His buddy's going around picking the pockets of the tourist, which is kind of crappy. But anyways, Leah tells Moose about an event where, Hunter might be, so he tries to go and meet her there, or meet Hunter. He ends up causing a scene and getting kicked out. And she ends up telling him about the Star Map app, which will tell you exactly where celebrities live. Something for someone who is, as we've seen so far in the film, as I would say unhinged as Moose is.
Oh, he seems fine to me. I don't know what you're talking about.
Also took an interesting take with the portrayal, I think. Like, this is just me, and I'm just going to diverge on this a little. To me, he kind of almost played it like he had some sort of, like, mental deficiency. Like, maybe slightly autistic.
I absolutely assumed he was supposed to. It's never established in the movie. But I assume there's something wrong with him. Like, it's more than just I'm a really big fan. Because I'm a really big fan of a lot of things. I'm nowhere near this.
Yeah, no, I could spout off the facts just like that. But, I have those cues. I know when's an appropriate time and when isn't an appropriate time.
Yes.
This the Travolta did something, or maybe Fred gave him a certain direction with the character, but I know that I believe I read something that Fred had a stalker issue, and maybe Travolta as well in the 90s.
I actually meant to look that up and see if there's a history here.
So if they drew from that experience for the performance, then okay, people are fucking weird.
Yeah, and he is very weird in this movie.
Anyways, yeah. So let me see here. So yes, the Star Map app.
Yes.
He goes and gets it. He goes and sees different celebrities' houses. He calls Leah. He's over the moon, excited, like, oh my God, this is the greatest thing. Sounds like he's about ready to his heart's ready to explode as he's running around their tiny apartment. Next day, we go back to him at work, and he's doing his policeman Bobby thing, where the extreme Chris Angel guy, they get into a confrontation, and it gets a little heated. And yes, he runs into him the next day, and he chokes the shit out of him. Doesn't kill him, just scares the bejesus. And this is about the time in the movie where it takes a bit of a turn. Actually, no, I'm getting ahead of myself. He actually goes to Hunter's house because of the Star Map app to deliver a letter to him, telling him how he feels, like how unhappy he was with how that ended. He signs it. It makes it seem like he stabs him with the pen.
Well, that's one of the weird things. The music and sounds in this movie are super fucking intense. Like,
yeah,
it's like he holds his back and he hits him with the pen, and there's a sound like boom, and you make him think he has like a penny. He's like stabbing him, and then you just see he writes down the shirt, and it's like, what is up with that fucking sound, dude? That's not how you edit that shit.
No, but it was an interesting choice, and I think it worked. Yeah. But yeah, after this, he runs into the extreme Chris bro, and he chokes him. A security guard we see earlier who told Moose he needs to stand up for himself more. He does, and he doesn't really care. Moose starts freaking out, and this is where one of the signs, I think, like where he starts acting like a kid, like a very small child when they're caught doing something wrong, apologizing profusely, all that. Like that's when I kind of thought, like, he's not all there. He's not all with it. Something's up. So Moose goes, and he goes back to Hunter's house to try and leave the note. He gets scared off by a maid. He goes home, tells Leah that he did this. Leah tells him never go back there again. So the next day, Moose goes right back there. He gets scared by the maid, who tells him, who tries to shoo him off. He pushes her. She falls into a water, is a fountain? Yeah, a water fountain. Breaks her neck and dies. Or we're presuming she's dead or knocked out, but she's just there.
I want to jump back to that, because I'm pretty sure she's supposed to be dead. And I feel like they come back to it at the very end.
They do.
But, like, she was laying there for at least a day, right? I'm really confused by that.
Yeah, that's definitely a plot hole that I still find a little off with it. So she's been laying there but it makes sense because later in that movie where we find that out, he goes to open the door and he sees the police there with the man we're presuming would probably be her husband. And, you just see him point and look like, yeah, that's him. Mm-hmm. That's her boss.
Yeah.
But there is a line of dialogue where he did say, or Devon Sawa's character did say that, he did it again. He kissed the maid.
Ooh.
But, all right, let's see here. Yeah. So, after this encounter with the maid, so he's already on Hunter's property, so he's 10 pounds of shit. Like, he's over the moon, excited, running around, looking at everything, just getting all excited. And then Hunter comes home, so you see him hide. He hides underneath Hunter's kid's bed, where later, the kid goes to bed, he goes to sleep, Hunter falls asleep in the living room. You see Moose crawl up from under the bed, stand in the living room right over him, and he sits down in the chair. And yeah, this scene in particular is really weird because we see him just rocking back and forth, moving his legs, just acting kind of creepy. Like, really creepy.
Well, I think the creepiest bit is like he gets like in his face a couple times and
yeah, he cuddles with him.
Yes. And Hunter must be an intensely thick sleeper. I mean, holy shit. Oh my.
Yeah. Oh, God. Let's see here. All right. So, after this, he goes back, and apparently this whole time, because we see him taking pictures of a sleeping Hunter, Leah confronts him again about it. It's like, you didn't listen to me. And if you're going to do that, don't fucking broadcast it on social media.
Yeah. Which is just like, wow, of course he did.
Of course he did. Yeah. So, again, what does Moose do the third time? Goes back. Only this time, we see Hunter taped and bound to the bed.
Yeah, he goes a full misery on him, I like to say.
Yeah, he does. He goes full. I wrote he goes full Basic Instinct.
Okay.
Minus the intercourse.
Yeah. So full misery. So.
Oh, it was also on in the background.
Yeah. That'll do it too.
I was watching it on my laptop.
You weren't fully committed, man? You weren't.
No. I just had HBO on and I was watching it on my laptop when I was writing. I just happened to look up, go, oh, so that's happening.
Cool.
Newman's a pervert. So yeah, he's taped up, and of course, he freaks the fuck out when he wakes up bound to his bed. I mean, as I would, but he wakes up because he sees him lying dead. He sees what he believes is Moose lying dead with a bunch of fake blood pouring from his head.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, it looks like he shot himself, and he's just thinking, "You stupid fuck, you dumb fucking fan, god damn." Then he wakes up, I fooled you. I'm as good of an actor, as good of one of you as you. And here's where we really see Moose become so unhinged that it's cringy.
Yes. There's a lot of that with Moose.
There's a lot, but there's also a lot of gold, and I will get to that.
Yeah.
So you see Moose run away, and Devin Saw was freaking the fuck out. He comes back in, full blue overall jumpsuit. Jason fans, you're nothing without us. You're nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And, he's crazy, so Hunter just wants to calm him down and get him out of his house, say, we'll sign everything, I'll do whatever, whatever. And he convinces Moose to let him go, for he soon calmed down so much to where Hunter being, completely restrained like this, gets Moose's head to rest right here. And he gets him to undo one wrist strap. Hunter's like, yeah, man, we're going to do all this. He undoes another, looks at him dead in the eye, and is just like, it's going to be okay, buddy. It's going to be okay. Pulls a shotgun, shoots him right in the fucking hand.
Yeah. That gets really weird, too, because I'm like, okay, I get it when, if you just want to kill him, I get it. If you just want to scare him, I get it, but he does some fucked up shit. He does.
Yeah, he completely blows off all of his fingers on one hand.
Yeah. Most of his hand, it seemed like. Yeah.
Most of his hand, yeah.
Not the best prosthetic, by the way.
Definitely makes him deaf in both ears, because he fires it, right next to both ears.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he clips it in the first shot. Oh, and he stabs him in the fucking eye with a knife.
Which, again, looked weird, because, wait, he survived that? It's this really... it looks like he just stabs him through the eye. And I guess he does, but I guess it's just in the eye, but that's it. To me, it almost
just looked like he was popping a balloon,
Yeah, it was...
So, Moose shuffles back to Hollywood Boulevard, and Sunset Strip, a bloody, bloody mess. Some tourists come up to him, think oh, dude, this looks awesome, man. Let's get some selfies with them. But Moose still stops and poses for the photo.
Yeah,
I did notice that, and I thought that was a little weird.
Yeah, I guess he kind of becomes a celebrity now, which,
Yeah.
Okay.
And he ends with Hunter still sitting in his, kitchen floor, just shocked at everything he had just done. The foul, evil deed and everything that took place. There's a knock on the door. It's the police. They're asking questions about the maid. And Hunter gets arrested for the murder of the maid.
Yes.
And Moose is off free to exist.
Yes, and then after the credits play, we have Nick Fury pop up, and he recruits Moose into the Avengers. No, this...
Yeah.
I
think it's...
Go ahead.
It's surprising. It took some chances, and it went with it.
Well, this movie, I want to kind of go into the history, because I heard about it probably the same time you did. It really made the circuit as far as, the internet blowing up about, oh my god, this is the new best bad movie. And I definitely see... I'm not sure... I think you definitely enjoyed it more than I did. I am really not 100% sure my full thoughts. Maybe if I watch it more, because there are exactly two aspects of this movie that I could see really, growing on me that are just kind of ridiculous. And that is Travolta's performance and the music. And I'm not even getting to the point where Hunter is with his kid, and he's like, "Have you heard Limp Bizkit? Limp Bizkit is the best band ever. It's wonderful. I love Limp Bizkit." Like, holy shit. I'm pretty sure we draw it up, but this is directed by Fred Durst and written by Fred Durst. Dude.
Yes.
Dude, come on.
Yes, it was. But if you remember, like, Sawa he was in a few of their music videos, I think, back in the day. I know he was in Break Stuff.
Yeah, sure, but you don't name drop yourself in a movie like this. Get a grip, man.
Yes, you do.
Well, yeah, I guess apparently you do.
Okay. Okay. I want to say it was the second Halloween film that Rob Zombie did.
Oh, I remember the first half hour of that was a fucking dream. It pissed me off, and I was just like done with that movie after that. No.
Halloween 2. Yeah. Not the first one. Not the first one, how like most of it was just a ham-fisted story for story.
Yeah.
The second one with the fucking White Knight and the fucking bullshit.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Hobo fucking Michael and that monstrosity shit. Like, I think, like, I'm so mad about that sequel, I've lost my point.
Oh, Halloween. There's an argument to be made that Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 is the worst.
I remember. Yeah, I remember. One of the scenes where Laurie goes to her friends before they dress in the Rocky Horror outfits.
That's right.
I'm almost positive there is a fucking White Zombie poster in that room.
Oh, there might be.
And it's just kind of like, or maybe in the record store, but it's still just, come the fuck on.
I know this is a tangent, but when it comes to Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, like, they do almost a remake of the second Halloween during the first half hour. The first half hour of that fucking movie is like a remake of Halloween 2, and then it's all a fucking dream, and it pisses me off so much that the rest of the movie could have been gold. I'm just pissed at it at that point.
I must have blacked that out.
It was like,
or must have gotten just
that.
I mean, if anything, I would have expected the hospital shit from Halloween 2 to happen at the tail end of Rob Zombie's first Halloween. The fucking length and the rate that film was going.
Yeah.
But
anyways,
I digress.
Anyways,
I felt this movie, it's a sleeper hit in that aspect. You know, it had plenty of suspense, plenty of tension in the film, and they hit all the cues right with the score. All of that was good. But I mean, like, he did seem a lot like a stalker, which he proudly claimed that he wasn't many times through the film.
Yes. As a general rule, when you have to say constantly, "I'm not a stalker," it means you're totally a stalker. Just FYI.
I think Tywin Lannister put it best. Any man who proclaims to be the king is indeed not a king.
Yes.
The Lannisters may have been pricks, but Tywin, he knew his shit was amazing. Sawa, I think he gave a great performance as well. I mean, I believed him to be a fucking piece of shit celebrity.
Yeah, definitely.
And I mean, and I follow the guy on Twitter, and what I can follow from that is, like, he's fucking far from it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just seems like a genuine dude.
Yeah, well,
like, I've seen various photos of him, like, with his kids, and his kids holding N64 controllers and, like, the GoldenEye screen, and he's like, should I destroy them?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes.
I think
yes is the answer to that question.
Mm-hmm. I think, like, for me, when I watch it, I guess I just didn't enjoy it as much as I should have.
Well, I'm also a big fan of Devon Sawa, too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love Idle Hands. I really enjoyed the first Final Destination.
That's been a while. That was kind of crazy, though. I get behind that.
But, I mean, I'm just maybe just like already a fan, and he is one of my favorite parts in next week's, well, it's not really trash cinema.
Mm-hmm.
But, well, I'll scrap. But he's also one of my favorite parts in one of my favorite films from the 90s, which is SLC Punk.
Okay.
He plays a real bit part in that, and they also had, like, what is now being dubbed as the Legacy sequel, and he also was one of the original returning cast members to that, to the Legacy sequel to SLC Punk.
Going into more stuff I haven't seen.
John Maud or Frank, and another character who is pretty much like, I think the main acting that other guy does now is like leads on Broadway.
The
Things Adam Pascal.
okay, but yeah,
That's his name. But yeah, I don't think that there really is that bad of a performance in this movie.
yeah, I think John Travolta, almost the way he handles it, that I could see comedy in that. In fact, there was quite a few moments that had me chuckling.
Well, him walking into the bar and ordering the strawberry milkshake is fucking hilarious.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's... here's the deal. I almost feel like Fred Durst might be capable of making a good movie. I feel like he has enough talent.
Well, yeah, I mean, he has according to IMDb, he has 41 directing credits to his name.
Holy shit.
Two of which are feature-length films. The rest are either being shorts or music videos.
Okay, so just 2
41
films.
directing credits.
So, because there's lots of things, like lighting, it's fine. Performances are largely fine. Travolta is kind of off the rails. But then again, I don't know what you do with Travolta. If you have Travolta in your movie, you just kind of say, hey, do your thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, can you tell Nick Cage how to Nick Cage?
Yeah, exactly. I guess, like...
I mean, I hate to, always lump those two together because of Face Off, but they really work well. They're both, actors in very similar ways. Like, they're great, and, yeah.
I would probably... I was just going to say, I probably appreciate Nick Cage more, because I swear to God, he bounces between unbelievably bad and just brilliant. Like, seamlessly.
Yeah, like Willy's Wonderland.
Yeah, like... I'm trying to think of a real... I know there was that one movie.
Adaptation wasn't that great.
I like Adaptation. I thought he did a good job in that one. The Wicker Man. He is so bad in Wicker Man. But then he does something like Bad Lieutenant, where he's fucking brilliant.
I mean, I liked Adaptation. I just think that it had a rough translation to the screen.
You know...
I kind of thought that story would be better told as a book than a movie.
Last time I saw that movie, I was happily married. So that was a while ago for me. So
Okay.
Fun fact, I'm not. But yes. This is... My feeling towards Fanatic are really weird. I really do not like it. But I don't think it is entertainingly bad. I think it skirts it. Almost frustratingly, because there are times where John Travolta says something just off the wall crazy, but then there's like this super intense music beat, and it almost makes me laugh, and the music beat pushes that laugh away. I almost feel like, and I do like I could cut together this movie and make it a lot funnier. I could say that. And maybe the music beats were Fred Durst in the editing room trying to make it more serious because he realized how goofy his performance was.
Yeah,
maybe.
Hold on. I'm going to find it. I remember the other movie that he directed. It was shocking. And it was one that I kind of was like, wait, holy shit, really?
Okay, was the movie called Shocking, or were you just shocked to figure out what it was?
I was shocked at what it was.
I was like, wait, he did a movie called Shocking?
Well, I mean...
He did Space Jam.
No.
Well, while you're looking that up, I want to tell you the one funny joke in Space Jam that I forgot to talk about. There's literally one good moment in Space Jam.
Actually, hold that thought. I will be right back.
Okay.
Or you
Well, I'm going to tell the audience then. Or we could sit in silence. But anyways, the best joke in Space Jam, I'm going to spoil it for you right now so you don't have to actually fucking watch that movie. Sylvester, they're in a halftime. And Sylvester comes in and says, hey guys, you know who's in the audience? Michael Jordan. And in my mind, this is like the perfect time because they're down. It's a perfect time for a little cameo for Michael Jordan to walk in and say, hey, dude, I've been in your shoes. You just got to hang together. You got this. You know, he gives this little inspirational cameo, and then they can go out there and win. And it feels like the perfect time in the movie for that. And then in walks Michael B. Jordan. And it's like, it's actually Michael B. Jordan in this fucking movie. And it's kind of hilarious. And it was the one funny moment in the movie. And Michael B. Jordan's like, hey, why do you want me here? Well, I have nothing to do with this. But that was the best moment in Space Jam 2. Bobby Quarters is back. What do we got?
Yeah, sorry about that. I very unprofessionally didn't use the bathroom before we started recording.
Oh, you see, I did. I got a poo.
Yeah.
You should have walked away and said, I got a poo. Come on. When else do you get a perfect moment for that?
I just had to rock a piss and just didn't have time to address it. The levee had... The movie that he also directed was the 2008 family film The Lawn Shots, starring Ice Cube.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was
sure.
Like, oh, okay. It's a youth movie. It's a kid movie about like sports. I think football, and a true story of Jasmine Plummer, who at the age of 11 became the first female to play in the Pop Warner football tournament in its 56-year history.
I've always wanted the Limp Bizkit family movie. That's all I have to say about that.
I think it would be an interesting family film if they made a family film based off their song All in the Family.
You see, I'm not familiar enough with them to know that. I'm showing off the fact that I have no Limp Bizkit cred. There's you name some really famous ones.
Yeah, I'm feeling really shameful right now.
Yeah. Hey, according to this movie, Limp Bizkit was like the best band ever. So I think I'm the one that's out. I think I'm.
Well, that's high praise, even coming from the writer.
Yeah, I mean, the writer clearly thinks a lot of Limp Bizkit. So what do I know?
It's good, so he kept it in the film. But yes, that was Fanatic. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right. It's a weird one.
I did discover this around the same time when it was coming out, and I was interested that Fred Durst was directing a horror film, and I was like, okay, I'll give it a fair shot. Yeah.
And for what it's worth, I've seen worst made movies. He has I'm probably gonna regret this, but I'm gonna go ahead and say he has a good movie in him. Will we ever see it? Probably not. But
probably not.
There is the potential. The
potential is definitely there.
Now, I actually just mail ordered for a movie, and I already kind of spoiled it a little bit, warning. But I was going to show you this clip and see if you'll know it, if you are interested in doing this movie next.
Fujiyama?
Yes, I am. Who are you?
I'm a cop.
To the wall.
What do you think? What do you think?
It's been a while since I've seen that.
It's been a while since I've seen it too, but I remember just loving that shit.
I remember it being amazing, and I know that Tommy Wiseau is in the sequel.
That's right. I was also interested in checking out the sequel, and this would give me an excuse because I have not seen the sequel either. And
not either.
We gotta do them in order. We can't just jump around the Samurai Cops. I spoiled it. You didn't say the title.
Samurai Cop.
Damn it, you knew.
I said I knew instantly what that was when you first showed it.
I'm certain, yes. Well, I thought that clip was kind of... I guess it's not obvious if you haven't seen it, but if you've seen it, it's like, oh, yes.
It's kind of more, if you know, I think.
I thought about doing something more obscure, like I thought about the scene where they're running down the steps, and it's like the same voice keeps on talking to them. Hey, what are you doing? Hey, what are you doing? It's like 50 different people, but it's all the same fucking voice.
It's almost the same as that Mystery Science Theater episode EGOT, where, they're about to walk out into the desert, and just out of nowhere, this voice just says, hey, watch out for snakes! It's like, who said that?
ADR work is brilliant. It's...
Oh, boy.
All right. So are you up for Samurai Cop next week?
Yeah.
All right.
We can do that.
All right. Yes, I want to do some Q&A. Let me dig that up.
Yeah, let's get him shaven off of there.
No, I'm going to leave it on there, man.
It is very nice to see, Nicolas Cage wearing his mask when he's out in public.
Yes. I remember that meme. Yes. He looks very respectable. So, I asked my main channel if they have any questions for us. So, we got a few here.
All right.
I meant to do images for this, but this is what happens when you do everything last minute. Not everything comes together perfectly. And you're probably thinking, this podcast is so professional. How could things not come together perfectly? Yeah.
Truth is, really, I'm just in that closet behind Bob.
Oh my God. Don't spoil it.
I get bread keels.
All right.
It's nice.
The first question is from some random guy on the internet. That's his actual username. He comments a lot. I think he's probably one of my guys who's on my videos fairly often.
All right.
Would you categorize The Incredibles as an honorary comic book movie due to it heavily basing its source material on the golden age of comics?
Yes.
Well, you see, it all time depends for me. Technically, no, but really, yes.
I mean, by that logic, yeah, traditionally that does make sense.
Mm-hmm.
However, I see a lot of them as kind of like amalgamations of heroes and villains throughout like a wide history of comics, probably.
Well, there's also I want to say just two of them. Two of the Incredibles are very much based on the Fantastic Four, and the whole premise is obviously a Fantastic Four thing.
Yeah, it's like the super family.
Yes.
Well, I mean, let's see. Violet is based off of Sue a little bit. The kid, he's super, super fast, but that's kind of more like the Flash. The dad is like a human Hulk.
Yeah, the dad's essentially Superman, and the kid's the Flash. But the mom...
the dad can't fly.
You're right, he can't.
Not technically, so he's like a human Superman or Thing.
Yeah. I guess you could say he's like the Thing, except he's not rocks. So the only really offshoot would be, because obviously Elastigirl is Mr. Fantastic. So
yeah,
the only offshoot is Dash, which I will say this: The Incredibles is by far the best Fantastic Four movie ever made.
Yeah. Roger Corman's.
I didn't. You know what? That one might be more entertaining, but this is the best, actual, quality made one.
Yeah, of course it's entertaining. It's Roger Corman.
Well, yeah. Some random guy on the internet snuck a second question in there. What's your favorite comic? I know, he's so sneaky. What's your favorite comic book movie and why? So I'll go ahead. I think it almost has to be Spider-Man 2. There's lots of close contenders, but which one's my personal favorite? I gotta love Spider-Man 2. The train sequence is amazing. Lots of people dump on the fire scene where he rushes into the building without his powers, and I love that scene because that's really the scene where he realizes, he has to be a hero no matter what. And then, it's so sad at the end, and milk it, but it's perfect for a comic book movie where they say, hey, there's a couple people who died on the top floor. You just get the look on his face like, God damn it, if I had my powers, that wouldn't be a thing. I love that movie. I think there's a lot of heart. His whole, journey of choosing to be Spider-Man. It's just something I really love. What would be your favorite, Bobby?
That's a tough one. That is a very tough one. But overall, Superman 2.
Donner cut or original?
Donner.
Okay.
Even the Donner's without the plastic S, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought, yeah.
No, the Donner cut, they actually edit out the weird powers in the Donner cut fairly effectively.
Yeah, I mean, the plastic S, they just, what the fuck is that? But Superman 2 overall is still just a great superhero film. It tackles one of the most common routes that a lot of these take is the hero themselves balancing the alter ego with the superhero and finding the common balance so that they can exist as well as both. It tackles that. It tackles him, living without his powers. It hits a lot of the tropes that so many different movies in the future would copy and paste, essentially.
My God, you just made... I don't know if I ever made this connection. How similar Superman 2 and Spider-Man 2 are in a lot of, like, essentially the hero's story.
Yeah.
Giving up the powers and then deciding you can't do that. And then...
Yeah, but Spider-Man didn't web sling across the whole planet and make time go backwards.
Well, that's a point in Spider-Man 2's favor, in my opinion, so...
I agree.
Oh my God.
And then Superman didn't fucking stop a train, and that's still fucking impressive.
Yeah.
The thing I like, there's a scene that, and I'm going to talk about Spider-Man 2 for a quick second, because I also really love that train scene too.
Mm-hmm.
But like the thing that I liked about it is how like they carry him back after it stops, and they all see like he's just a kid.
Yeah.
And they just hand him the mask.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's just powerful.
Yeah, that moment where, they just see like in that moment you realize that people are looking at him. And it's like this isn't just some generic like nobody. This is just a person who's doing this shit, who just risked his life to save all you people. And yes, it's a very touching scene. And small critique of Spider-Man 2, but it was every film at the time. Since it took place in New York, and 9/11 had still very fresh in the whole country's mind, there was like that, defiant New York City unity, which is great, but at some points in movies, it did get a little ham-fisted, and that little scene is like, like the one in the first one, little ham-fisted there. I will say this, though. I feel like that scene was going to age better than the one in the first one, and later in the third one when he's in front of the American flag. But yeah, those Spider-Man movies do milk that. And I feel like it's partially because the first teaser for the first one famously had the two towers in it. With a giant web in between them? Yes, and it was released I don't know if it was right before, but it was maybe like a month before the towers went down. It was just like, shit. I mean, they went back and had to cut it out of the film. Yes, they did digital stuff in that first one. But yeah, and I think that's kind of why that's so strong. That's so prevalent in those Spider-Man movies in particular. They kind of do milk in other movies, but those Spider-Man movies I think they feel extra burdened to make sure to do it. But still, Superman 2, definitely my favorite. Yeah. Well, Superman 2 also, I want to talk about Superman 2 a bit now, too. Because that Donner cut, with the exception of the ending still sucks for the Donner cut, and the ending sucks in the original. Yeah, it still sucks. That being said, everything leading up to the ending and the Donner cut is so much better than the original. Because the original, it's like they have this cool story, but the original is so clunky and so, like, feeling the need to force jokes. And I don't think Richard Lester did any research about the power set of these characters or anything, because they're just doing whatever the fuck the script asked them to do. Yeah. And then they really did whatever the fuck they wanted with the fourth one, but that was because the Molkas from Canon owned it, and if you know anything about Canon film, I feel like there's a decent chance we'll discuss the fourth one more in detail in this podcast at some point. Yeah, we'll get into that one. So does some guy on the internet, did he sneak a third one in? No, we just have other questions. Okay. Will Henry, what are my thoughts on anime? I actually don't watch nearly as much anime as I would like. I do enjoy it for the most part. I try to keep up with the Hayao Miyazaki stuff. My daughter is really into anime, so I watch some stuff from her. She's really into Madoka Magica. I love Cowboy Bebop. That's my favorite anime series. My favorite anime movie is Princess Mononoke. I love it. It's good. I like anime. I don't watch nearly as much as I'd like. So it's not like I'm not as immersed in it as I would be like Marvel or something like that, or even Genesis, obviously. But yeah, I like it. What are your thoughts, Bobby? I'm kind of a fuddy-duddy when it comes to anime. There's like probably 2 or 3 series that I really, really love and have gotten into and will watch, but they are ironically just short-lived ones. Like, I really love Samurai Champloo, Samurai 7, but I'm also super into that history of feudal Japan and the samurai. Like,
that way of life is the shit in my opinion. Like it's I feel a lot of people would be better, but that's just me getting into my own ethics.
Well, you just named 2 animes I know of and I've heard of and I've always meant to look into but haven't.
Right. I mean, they pretty much tell the same story of the 7 samurai, and it's like an actual story that a lot of the belief of the samurai were based off of, if I remember correctly. I could be completely butchering that plot synopsis, but it has been years since I have watched it, but I have watched those and I do enjoy that. A few of the other, I guess, like the newer DC animators are kind of like that anime style. I like that, but I mean, of course I've seen Akira, but I'd say my favorite would probably be either, it's a tie between Howl's Moving Castle or Spirited Away. And it just, like, I think for Spirited Away is more nostalgia than anything else.
Yeah, I'm in the minority. I never was into Spirited Away. I felt like there's not much story there at all, and that always drove me nuts.
The idea of it, and visually it was beautiful,
well,
too.
Visually, I mean, Miyazaki is always visually beautiful.
Well, yeah, and of course we both say our favorite films are Miyazaki films.
Well, he is like the gold standard of anime.
Yeah, he's like the Don Bluth of Japanese animation.
Yeah. All right, to Rosa, and this is a big one. What's my name? I'm Bob. What's your name, Bobby? What's your name?
Actual name?
That's what I assume so. What's your name, Bobby? What's your name? Whoa.
What?
Mind fucking blown. So, yeah, a thing I always forget to say, if there's anything you want us to cover on here, comment. Questions, comment. You know, we're going to start trying to do these live. Hopefully we worked out the bugs with this episode. But we got live chat going on here. Let's see. I wonder how many viewers we have. I'm going to look that up real quick.
Yeah, I'm curious who have, trooped along with us this whole time.
Yes. Loading.
Loading. Enhance.
No. Oh, now it's just playing? That's not what I want. Oh, I'm not in the actual app.
Well, while you're doing
2 views. Whoa. Rocking it. One day we'll hit those double digits, and then we know we got made.
It'll be amazing, yes. Well, I'm going to do a quick little plug and a self-promotion here.
Go for it.
Starting in September, my YouTube channel, which we can make sure that we get a link down there for it, maybe.
It's in the defaults.
But, yeah. But, yes, mine will I'm going to start with a live, or not live, but we're going live, and I'm going to start premiering all of my true crime videos and true crime podcasts from the first season, which is currently available up on Facebook. You don't have to pay. You could just go and binge it right now and then just tease your friends when it comes out saying, oh, I've seen this. But coming up now, I'm currently writing the second season of that. I had to start from scratch because I fell into a rabbit hole that absolutely led nowhere, and I'm very disappointed at myself.
Those are the worst.
Yeah, and I was almost ready to connect every single episode. So that's why I had to start from scratch. Hairbrained, QAnon, craziness, BS.
Oh, God.
But yes, I'm going to have another fake horror doc. I know I've talked about it. This one's planned. I just need to film it and slap some paste on it and publish it. And that is where I'm at with some of my content.
Awesome. So, yes. On my channel, I'm going to finish up the script for my DCEU ranking, because that video came together rather quickly. So there's a decent chance I'll probably get that. I'll probably just do a podcast clip next Friday, but then a week after that, I'll probably do the official DCEU ranking. The Suicide Squad versus Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I still want to get that put together, so that's probably going to come out probably got another month at least till that one. Time is fucking evil. My Deep Space Nine retrospective is pretty far into the way, but that's definitely a longer one. That's probably going to be like an hour at least. But that is where I'm at with content on my channel.
All right.
All right. So next week, Samurai Cop, and oh yes, I was gonna see Free Guy. So we'll discuss that.
Okay.
You have any ideas?
Yeah, I'm gonna cover Dragonheart 3.
Really? Don't get people's hopes up. Don't get me one.
No.
I am going to cover Dragonheart 6 because.
Oh, there isn't a 6. There are 5, apparently.
Well, that's disappointing.
No, yeah, yesterday during a venture at the store, I discovered a 5-movie pack of those. So I am just as surprised as anyone that there is more than one of those films. But
I think they've all been direct-to-video because I've seen one of the direct-to-video ones. And I don't remember anything about it.
I remember seeing the second one.
I don't think I've even seen the second one.
I mean, I haven't seen it. I remember seeing the box at the video store. I don't remember purchasing or renting it.
God, I'm trying to remember. I'm even trying to remember the first one. Sean Connery's the voice of the dragon.
Yeah, and Dennis Quaid plays a knight.
Okay, I was like, is Dennis Quaid the knight?
Yeah, where they got a hustle going where he pretends to kill the dragon for money, and they go from town to town doing this hustle.
Wasn't there someone else famous in that one?
Maybe.
Wasn't David Thewlis maybe the villain? I want to say maybe.
I can't recall who the villain is, but I remember him being red-haired and rather annoying.
It might be. The guy from Wonder Woman. I think it
Yes.
might be. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it was him.
Okay.
It was him. The guy who looks like a wet fish in the Harry Potter movies.
Mm-hmm. I'm willing to bet none of the sequels have Dennis Quaid.
They don't even have Sean Connery.
Yes. So, next week, Samurai Cop and Free Guy and anything else that comes up, anything you put in the comments, we'll discuss on here too.
Yes, we will.
So, everybody have a good one. We'll see you next week.
Take care, y'all.
Oh, and I have a closing thing. Hold on.
Oh.
We're getting fancy and professional this time.
You're getting professional. I'm using a microphone.
I want to go ahead and add some audio credits at the end here. The theme music you're hearing at the beginning and end of this podcast was written and performed by George Johnson, a very good friend of mine. And my current Patreons are Fel Martins, David Lara, and Lindsay Pankhurst. If you'd like to become a patron, go ahead and follow the link down below. Anything you can provide would be incredibly helpful to this channel. We're barely limping by right now. I'd love to make this my full-time job. I'm miles away from